Hi everyone, welcome back to David's F1 show, Singapore GP edition. Again, I am with the mic and I still cannot find a decent stand for it, so I'm still holding it in my hand, but whatever. I'm here for you and let's go into what happened in Singapore GP, and let's start with uh, overall race rating. Um, it wasn't a bad race, for sure, but it wasn't a banger. If you asked me, like maybe at the middle of the race, in the middle of the race, I would say, well, maybe I would give it a 3, maybe 4. And that's basically because after the safety car, well, let's go into the before safety car. Carlos Sainz was managing the pace, and he didn't let anyone to undercut him because he was driving very slowly. So everyone behind him were driving slowly as well. So there wasn't a gap to undercut anyone. So that was a strategic element of the first part of the race, and what we were all the fans were thinking about, who will actually blink first and go to the pits to undercut, or who will stay long enough to overcut, or not overcut, but to have a much fresher tires, even on a track like Singapore, where you need quite a big gap in a performance of the car, as I heard, around 2 seconds. But anyway, that was an interesting side of the first part of the race. But as soon as the safety car got in a way, it ruined everything, because everyone pitted on the same lap to the same compound. Well, I'm talking about, of course, PE from all the top 5, top 6, okay. And yeah, it basically killed the race because everyone was on the same tire and everyone were again managing it and just cruising to the finish line. And yeah, no one. Yeah, Russell tried, of course, to push Sainz, but it was just a dead end, to be honest. So yeah, I was thinking, okay, if we don't have another safety car, that's a game over. Boring race, straight to the bin. Let's go to Japan next week. But the second safety car brought us more strategic element and difference in strategies between top 3, Sainz, Norris, and Leclerc, and both Mercedes, who actually pitted on the virtual safety car and went into the mediums. Much fresher, less fuel, of course, so less degradation, and they were very much getting like about 2 seconds lap quicker that people who run on the podium at that point of time. So yeah, last 10-15 laps were very interesting. So it's not fair to give this race like 3-4. In my opinion, it was a decent race. It wasn't like a banger, like a Zandvoort, but it wasn't like a dull and boring race as Baku this year, for example. So I would give this race 6 out of 10, and I think it's decent enough. We didn't have a lot of wheel-to-wheel battle throughout the race, but we had a very interesting strategic battle throughout, again, the whole race. Second thing, what I want to talk about in this podcast is about Sainz masterclass throughout the race weekend. Since Friday up until last lap on Sunday, which ended around an hour ago. He topped FP1, FP2, FP3. He got a pole. He led every single lap, and he won the race, of course. Unfortunately, he didn't get the fastest lap, but yeah, he would have like a first what is called like Grand Slam or something where you get like a perfect weekend. But again, I don't think that Sainz will be very sad about that he didn't get the pole position. Sorry, fastest lap, of course. And again, this race wasn't like a given to Sainz. He had to battle for it. He had to had a almost perfect fast lap to get pole position, because from P1 to P3 in quali it was less than a tenth of a second. So he could have finished P3 yesterday in a qualifying session. And even today, first part of the race was very, very, I wouldn't say easy, but but Sainz managed it very well. Behind him was his teammate, and that Ferrari actually got the team orders in order and said Charles how much further he should have been behind Sainz, so no one could undercut Sainz for the win. And that's definite win for strategists in Ferrari. Yes, that's me saying that strategists in Ferrari did something right, which is great. Congratulate. You did a great job today for sure. So they didn't care about, well, of course they did care about Leclerc, but they definitely wanted this win because they knew that Verstappen is out of contention, so it's between them and Mercedes, who were on par in terms of speed with Ferraris. So yeah, which is a great call from them. And Sainz managed it very well. And even after the first safety car, everything went like all right for him. Even though behind him was not his teammate but Lando Norris at that point of time, at least. Till the end of the race, to be honest. No, sorry, it was a Verstappen, but again he was on all the tires. So yeah, Norris was basically in front. Net P2. Anyway, but last 15 laps after the second safety car, it wasn't given to Sainz that he will win this race, because Mercedes were catching them by 2 seconds a lap, as I said already, and what he did in the last 4 or 5 laps, where he knew that if Mercedes overtakes Norris, then game over. He will be very vulnerable for the overtaking, and he will lose the P1. So he basically he gave Lando Norris DRS detection, so Mercedes wouldn't overtake Norris, and Sainz wouldn't be vulnerable for them for sure, because he knew that Norris won't overtake Sainz anyway, because both of them their tires were dead. And yeah, that was a great strategic move from Sainz, and I am 100% behind the choice of driver of the day from the fans, that Carlos Sainz, yes he won from pole. That's how it will go in Wikipedia, but who watched the race would know that, well, it wasn't an easy walk for him. So great race from him, I think. And what I enjoyed watching is that maturity from Sainz, his experience and his leadership brought this great win for Ferrari, and they ended the Red Bull's domination this year. 15 races in a row, Red Bull won, world record, and I'm not sure that in the next 10-15 years we will see another team who will be able to do it. So great again race. Congratulate whole Ferrari for sure, and I hope they will be able to build on it, and they will battle for P2 in Constructors' Championship with Mercedes by the end of the year, because at the moment I think it's just around 50 points between Mercedes and Ferrari, and still lots of points available by the end of the year. So yeah, congratulate once again, incredible race, and yeah, let's move to the next point. And next, I want to talk about winners and losers in Singapore. Maybe not only Grand Prix, but whole weekend. But particularly, of course, I will be talking about Grand Prix. So, in my opinion, who was the winners? Of course, again, I just repeating myself, Carlos Sainz, incredible, perfect, well, 99.9% perfect weekend for him. Second win in his career, both in Ferrari, of course, first one in Silverstone last year or year before. Again, I always forget. Yeah, it was in 2022, because in 2021 it was Hamilton with Max who collided. Anyway, Carlos Sainz, definite winner. Second winner is Lando Norris. Again, incredible result, both in quali and in race. P4 in quali, P2 in race. Great result, great weekend. He did manage to hold to the second position. Another podium for him, and 18 points in the back for McLaren, who are still easily and steadily catching Aston Martins. But we'll talk about them a little bit later. Who is another winner? Oh, and actually not only Norris, but another McLaren driver who finished P7, Oscar Piastri. So basically very good points for McLaren this weekend, when his main rivals, Aston Martins, finished, well, they scored 0 points for the whole weekend. So yeah, great weekend for them, and hopefully they will be able to build on that in the next races. Another winner is Lawson. Yesterday, well, let's repeat ourselves. Third race in his career. First time he is driving in Singapore. For his, I think, even before Formula 1, he didn't drive here at all. He outqualifies his teammate. He outqualifies both drivers from sister team, Red Bull. Oh my god. He is incredible. And today, well, he went to Q3, of course, yesterday. And today, he got P9, 2 points in the back. Third race in the Formula 1 again. And very, his career in Formula 1 started very, very interestingly. Well, yes, it was not a good consequences of how he got in Formula 1, of course, but at the moment he's doing a great job there for sure. In 3 races he's done better job than Nick De Vries for 9 races which he was given before, well, in the first part of the season. So yeah, I still, well, it's kind of not a good news for both for either Yuki Tsunoda or for Daniel Ricciardo, because again, in my opinion, from yesterday's video, and I just assure myself in this video as well, that Lawson deserves to be in Formula One full season as a permanent driver. And I don't know on which cost it will be. Will it be for instead of Tsunoda, or will it be instead of Daniel Ricciardo? Because of both of them, I still have only contracts till the end of the year, so that will be a very interesting situation to talk about in a few weeks and months time. But 2 points in the back, 2 points for AlphaTauri, which again they are kind of still battling for some position in Constructors' Championship. But I just happy for Lawson that he finished again quite difficult racetrack, Singapore city track. He managed to do it, and yeah, great result. And I think that's it in terms of winners. Okay, maybe one more thing, one more person as a winner is Kevin Magnussen. He finally got a point in a race. Yesterday he qualified 6th and finished race 10. So yeah, we know that that Haas aren't a great, don't have a great race car, but Magnussen got his elbows out and defended the 10th position and 1 point for the Haas. So yeah, I think that's a small win, but still a win. And now let's talk about losers. There are so many losers. I just open the leaderboard of the race, and let's start from the bottom. Yuki Tsunoda. It's, oh my god, he is so unlucky at the moment, and in this very crucial time of the year where he has to show that he's got a pace in qualies, he's got a pace in races, and 2 races in a row. He just he didn't even start in Italy, and this year, this race again, it was some sort of puncture, and honestly I don't understand why he didn't try to go to the pits as did Sargeant when he hit the wall and he didn't have whole his nose. Yeah, very strange DNF, to be honest, but yeah, tough path for the last few weeks for Tsunoda, and not a great time for him at the moment. Another loser, Esteban Ocon, the birthday boy. He was running in the points before the DNF, and yeah, just something happened in his car, and he stopped by turn 2 after the pit exit. And honestly, no one talks about it. I didn't hear anything in a live while I was watching the race. When the virtual safety car appeared, I really thought that it's a little bit dangerous to go through the pits, and I really thought that that race direction will actually close the pit entry, so the marshals would be able to pull the car to the pit lane, but they didn't do it, and all the shenanigans for the last 10 laps, which were great, happened because of that. Thanks Ocon for giving us very entertaining last 15 laps, but yeah, it's very unlucky. It wasn't like his mistake. It just happens, and but at the moment he is a big loser in our chart. Next loser is George Russell. George, I love the walls. Russell. Yeah, his mistake. 100%. He was P3. He was on a podium. Last lap. Few corners before the end of the race. He clips the wall and goes straight to another ball. Missed opportunity for him. Big loser. And he should be devastated for that for sure. Yeah. But on the other hand, Mercedes, the other teammate, Lewis Hamilton, got P3, which again, very very good result for Mercedes. Another losers is, and I think yeah that will be the last. Well, okay, one of the penultimate losers, if we can. Oh man, yeah, it's strange to talk about it. The penultimate losers in the Singapore weekend are, it's not a person, is a team, and actually the second one is also the team, and I think you will guess who that will be. But penultimate one is Aston Martin. What happened to them? From consecutive podiums for consecutive Q3 appearances, for consecutive, not like a, yeah, they didn't actually had a chance for win except Monaco, but still they were quite well in the other end of the standings. They were on P15, and the other guy just didn't appear in the race. Well, because he had the reason, of course, but still. Yeah, I think that they just lost the development race. They've got very good car at the beginning of the race, and Fernando Alonso did manage to seize the opportunities, but at the moment it's just wow, P15. Yeah, of course I know that strategy didn't work out for him, that he had like a 25 seconds pit stop instead of 5 seconds. Oh, okay, he had a 5 second time penalty, was okay, 3 plus 3 seconds tire changes, so it's 8 seconds plus 17 seconds, extra 17 seconds on a pit wall, on a pit straight is devastating. And yeah, 0 points from this weekend. Other guy just smashed the car, again, son of the owner, and he does whatever he wants. Yeah, I really can make a bet that by the end of the year, McLarens will catch them. Why? Because of two reasons. First is because McLarens are definitely faster than Aston Martin at this point of time. And the second reason is that because they have two drivers who can drive, who can race, and who can score points. Yes. Lance Stroll. Again, if you watch my videos, you would say, "Oh, you just hate this guy. You're jealous because he's driving in Formula One and you will never be able to do it." I don't care. I just watch the races, see that this guy just doesn't care, and not only in the races but also after the races in the interviews, he's just unemotional at all. His answers are very pale, etc. Maybe he's just tired of all these things and he would just retire himself. But yeah, Aston Martin needs two drivers who can score points, who can race for sure. But for these weekends, they are definite losers. And last but not least, losers of Singapore weekend are Red Bulls. What a horrible, terrible race weekend they had. After winning last 15 races in a row, they didn't qualify to Q3. They were racing with Williamses, AlphaTauris, Alfa Romeos, Haases for most time this race. And Max Verstappen, yes, he finished P5, he got 10 points. He is even closer to his third world championship. But it's just, yeah, and Pérez actually also got like 8th position, 4 points. But yeah, they need to forget, well, they can't forget this weekend because they need to understand what happened. But everyone in the paddock saying that it wasn't because of the directive which came this weekend, but it just happens to the fastest cars for even especially for Singapore, because Singapore is so specific track with all the bumps, with all the like what street layout, that even Mercedes, when they were dominating in 14 and 15, they also won almost every race that year. But they came to Singapore and they also got a devastating weekend. So everyone thinks that, okay, next week Japan, Max Verstappen wins by 1 minute and wins world championship. Both championships actually, they have a very good chance of doing that next year. Next race and next year as well, in my opinion. But yeah, that's my winners, losers, my race rating, and what I thought were the most interesting points in this race. What's your thoughts on this race? Let me in the comments below. Let's have a chat about it. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and see you very soon actually. Bye!